Hi guys, welcome back to my kitchen. So in today's video I'm showing you guys how to make fufu using potatoes. So I'm using Idaho potato. I'm using 6 Idaho potato. I tried to find Irish potatoes, but I couldn't find Irish potatoes anyway, so I just stuck with my Idaho potato. But anyways, so I'm starting off by peeling them. I recommend you peel them before you boil them, because you don't want to have any dirt in your potatoes or any peelings. I kind of did have some peelings in my potato, and you can actually see it in the fufu. You don't want that. So after peeling my potato, I'm just cutting it into small pieces so it's easier to cook evenly and faster, and then also easier to blend. So yeah, after cutting them in halves and into smaller pieces, I'm just gonna wash them and then make sure they're clean, and then add them to the pot and cook them until they are well done. You want to make sure that your potato is cooked properly because it's easier to blend and it helps to make it smooth. You don't add too much salt. I added about a teaspoon of salt. Don't add too much. So yeah, after that, I'm just gonna cook the potato. Once your potato is cooked, I recommend you turn off the stove and allow the potato to cool down on your stove for about 10 minutes. I tried one time to blend something hot and my blender just popped, so since then I've been a little bit on edge when it comes to like blending anything that is hot. So yeah, I just allow my potato to sit on the stove for about 10 minutes until it cooled off a little bit. It was still hot, but it was not as hot as when it just finished boiling. So yeah, after that, just drain your water. Don't pour any water on it because remember you added the salt in the beginning. You don't want that to wash away with the water. So after that, you just blend your potato until it is very, very smooth. You don't want to see any lumps. You don't want to see any knots. You just want it to be completely smooth. When blending your potatoes, make sure to only add enough water to make it easier for the potato to blend. Do not add too much water. You do not want a very watery result. You just want like this thick, milky, smoothie type of mixture. So now I'm just gonna mix my potato starch. So you are going to be using, I actually use a little bit more than 1 cup. So I would recommend you just use 1.5 cup of potato starch if you want to. If you want your fufu to come out a little thicker, I'll recommend you use 1.5 cups of potato starch. So the same thing with the potatoes and the blender. You just want to add enough water to make it easier for you to stir. You don't want to add too much water. You don't want it to be really runny. You want to get like a very milky texture. You want it to look exactly like milk, like a very thick kind of milk. So once done stirring the potato starch, I put my potato on the stove and I'm just gonna mix it until it starts to boil. Once it starts to bubble, I'm gonna add my potato starch a little at a time. I recommend you babysit this pot, because you don't want to have any type of lumps. You don't want to have any type of knots. Especially when you start adding the potato starch, it's gonna start knotting up. And to make sure that your potato starch is well mixed, so as you are stirring your potatoes, you like I'm doing right there, you just want to make sure you're still stirring your potato starch, because once you let it sit for too long, the potato starch, like the starch from the potato starch, sink into the bottom, and the only thing that's on the top is like the water. You don't want that. So as you're stirring your potato, just continue to stir the potato starch on the side until you are ready for it. So once my potato starts to bubble a little bit, I just add the potato starch a little at a time. I'm adding a little at a time so I can know how to better handle it. I don't want to add too much and then it starts knotting up. So that's what I was doing here. And yeah, make sure to constantly stir it, because like I said, once the starch starts getting thicker, or it starts getting hot or warm, it starts to stick together, and you don't want that. You don't want knots in your fufu. So yeah, just continue to add your potato starch until you get the thickness or like the texture of fufu that you want. So something I will want to add is you will need to make this at least 2 to 3 times to be able to get like your desired thickness or how hard you want it, because the first time I was making this, I was getting a little discouraged because I kept adding the potato starch and it wasn't getting as thick as I wanted it to, but I also didn't want to add too much potato starch because I didn't want it to be mostly potato starch and less of the potato. So I also realized that once you feel like is as thick as you can get it, and you feel like you mixed it enough and there's no knots or no lumps or whatever, you will want to turn off the stove, remove it from on the stove actually, and let it cool down. Once it cools down, it gets a lot harder. It gets thicker and it like transforms. It's not as soft anymore, you know. So yeah, if you want your fufu to be more hard and you're adding too much potato starch and it's not working, just just turn up the stove and just let it sit and cool off. I'm pretty sure it's hard. It's just like it's hot, that's why. And so this is it. So once it's done, once I let it sit and cool for about 10 to 15 minutes, I'm just molding it. Actually, this one I didn't really let it sit for too long. I just let it sit for like 3 to 4 minutes. That's why it's still a little bit soft. But after, cause once I was done, I molded it, put it in the bowl, and then I let it sit for a bit, cleaned the kitchen, did everything that I needed to do. And once it was time for me to eat it, it was the exact thickness that I wanted it. And you have to also think like it is potato, so don't expect it to be as thick like the cassava fufu or the plantain fufu. It's not that thick, but it is a fufu texture. You will notice that it kind of reminded me of the cassava fufu, but yeah, don't expect it to be exactly like the cassava fufu. Just be open-minded when you're trying this. So yeah, once I'm done, this is my fufu. It came out so perfectly. It came out so good. And I really liked it. I'm definitely making this again. I did enjoy mine with some palm butter. And yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do not forget to like, comment, and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And please comment down below if you tried this and if it came out good for you, or even if it didn't come out good for you, please just comment down below. Maybe I can help you understand something that was confusing to you. But yeah, hope to see you guys in my next video. Bye.